Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start these activities, I would invite Coach Dennis Williams to invoke the presence of the Lord. Please.
Reading from Psalm 96, today's reading. Let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice. Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord, all you lands. Sing to the Lord, bless his name. Announce his salvation day after day. Tell his glory among the nations, among all peoples, his wondrous deeds. And so, Father, we come before you this morning rejoicing as we celebrate your birth, rejoicing because you have done great things for us. We pray, dear Lord, as we forge ahead, we pray that you will continue to guide us, guide all those who have organized the meet. We pray, Lord, that we'll continue to work together as one, as we bring honor and glory to your name through sports. Continue to give us vision, continue to give us patience and understanding and a spirit of cooperation. Bless all those who are working extremely hard, and we pray at the end of the day it will be a successful meet, and your name will be glorified. In your holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
You may be seated. Thank you very much, Coach. Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Dr. Kit Mitchell, Minister Roland Bola, Minister with responsibility for sport, religious affairs, and youth, Senator Winston Garwe, five-time Olympian Mr. Chris Brown, members of the local organizing committee of the Grenada Invitational, sponsors and potential sponsors, athletes, former athletes, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the media, welcome to the official launch of the Grenada Invitational. On August 6, 2012, a lanky, unassuming lad from the town of Guave, the parish of St. John, delivered a historic performance on a world stage that has and will continue to provide Grenada with unprecedented global exposure and acclaim. The challenge at home following the Olympic gold medal accomplishment of Kirani James was and continues to be, how can Grenada fully benefit from and take advantage of the opportunities available to a tiny island nation now with an Olympic gold medal. The gold medal is a delivery on promises and hopes as far back as the 1970s and Donald Pierre, and more recent times, Alan Franczyk, a 400-meter finalist at the 2004 Olympics. The gold medal has spurred a government into action to deliver a world-class facility. The gold medal has also spurred the private sector into action. And now with world-class athletes, not just one athlete, but athletes, and a world-class facility, we now undertake to deliver a world-class event that will make Grenada a major stop on the international track and field circuit, not only in 2017, but for many, many years to come. Since the media launch of the Grenada Invitational on October 20th, 2016, it already feels as though Grenada is the center of the athletics world. From elite athletes to college coaches, to regional and international media and the corporation, the interest in the inaugural track and field meet has exceeded our expectations. It is now time to deliver a world-class event. And as the morning unfolds, details of the varying stages of preparation will be unveiled. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the brainchild of the Grenada Invitational to give some updates as to how far along we are, Mr. Michael Bascom.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. A Mitchell is a Mitchell. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, Sports Minister Roland Bola, Senator Winston Garwe, President of Sporting Federations, Mrs. Glenys Roberts of the Netball Association, and Mr. Dwayne Gill of the Grenada Cricket Association, the representatives of sporting federations, Mr. Chris Brown, Athletes Liaison to the Grenada Invitational, members of the local organizing committee of the Grenada Invitational, sponsors, potential sponsors, our specially invited athletes, invited guests, and media colleagues. But it's not too late to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And obviously I'll have a belated Christmas since I spent it away from family after being here for almost a month. Nevertheless, Chris will tell you, these are sacrifices in life, and I continue to do so in the name of sports and for Grenada. The Grenada Invitational has been a trending topic for the past 3 months, and we anticipate that after today, it will take on even more significance. Mr. Brown will outline later on the process and finally announce the names of some quality athletes who have agreed to compete at the inaugural Grenada Invitational right here next April. The names will be only a drop in the bucket. Since the media launch in October, the LOC embarked on an aggressive PR campaign, both locally and internationally. The LOC strategically various aspects of the Grenada Invitational, starting with the official announcement by the Prime Minister, the media launch, the first athlete to be confirmed, and now the official launch, which actually coincides with the 100-day countdown and the gathering of our top track and field athletes. Our aggressive campaign has ensured that the Grenada Invitational is a trending topic among track and field athletes and fans here in Grenada and around the region. There is no doubt that the interest has heightened, and we expect momentum to increase following today's announcements. A brief genesis of the Grenada Invitational, which actually the discussion started way back as 2011 in New York. Kirani James, Rondell Bartholomew, at a function hosted by the diaspora. The idea of the Grenada Invitational came up, but the conclusion, we have no facility. 1 year later in London with Coach Harvey, Kirani and others, again, no facility. 2013, we moved to Beijing, again, no facility. 2014 in Glasgow, well, there was some hope because there were plans now for the start of the stadium. So every year there was a discussion. Aline Francisque was also involved in some of the discussion, but it's only talk, but we need action. So on January 23rd, right here, when the stadium was officially open, the thought came that this is the day. We need to do something. And immediately after, I started to make inquiries, wrote to the Grenada Athletic Association about an area permit meet. The response was that there's no plans to have an area permit meet, immediate plans I should say, but the Whitsuntide Games, OECS Invitational are among some of the plans. We need an area permit meet. There are some facts involved in that, so the discussions continue. Not too long after that, I contacted the Prime Minister. In fact, I was advised that I should contact my partner, the Prime Minister. So I contacted my partner, and immediately my partner responded that this is a brilliant idea, excellent, Michael, let's start moving with it. And he is the Prime Minister who suggested that we should have a local organizing committee. That's where Dexter came in, and immediately Dexter started mobilizing. The discussion continued. I traveled around the region. There was the Chris Brown Invitational in April. Chris gave me the opportunity to be to observe what was happening. I traveled to other area permit meets. I went to Poland to meet with the IWF television director, various other meets around the region and the world, too numerous to mention. But what is interesting is that in Rio, I went there as the media officer for the Grenada Olympic Committee. I was crucified after, because at no point in time did I take the opportunity to discuss anything about the Grenada Invitational even though there was the opportunity to meet with agents, coaches, athletes. I thought it was not ethical in that I was there for the Grenada Olympic Committee, not the Grenada Invitational. Chris and I, Kirani and others, Lyndon, Kurt, we had meals almost every day. So when I got back to New York and I contacted Chris, Chris was like, you have to be a madman. We have been meeting almost every day and you never mentioned that to me. Why no? And I explained to him, he accepted my reasoning. I thought we cannot mix the Grenada Olympic Committee and the Invitational, two different aspects. So I took blows for that. But the thought about the whole discussion, the Prime Minister contacted me while he was in Guyana at the CARICOM Heads. And I was like, Prime Minister contacted me at the CARICOM Heads. He wanted information because he wanted to speak to his colleagues about, discuss it, I believe. And I felt honored, so I shared the news with those guys. I said, this is serious business, man. We have to double up, If the Prime Minister is taking this more serious than us, we have to double up. And Prime Minister came to New York on 2 occasions. We met, we discussed. He had the opportunity to discuss with Chris Brown as well. Chris was so elated, he shared the news that I have done so much for the Bahamas. That was Chris' words. I have never had the opportunity to speak to my Prime Minister in the Bahamas, and I spoke to Grenada's Prime Minister. Guys, this is serious, So it was, a lot of things were happening, And then the momentum among the athletes and the coaches, the colleges, and I'm speaking about even before there was the media launch. There was momentum, and we capitalized on that. And then we moved to the official launch in October, and since then, it has been no stopping. Clearly, I can say with the exception of cricket and netball, where we have seen administrative changes and new approaches to the administration of sports, and that is why I specifically invited the presidents of the Cricket and Netball Associations. And I said that because I recall earlier this year at the Cricket Association's function, the Prime Minister said that it's the first time he was invited officially to a function by the Cricket Association. And he has been traveling the entire Caribbean speaking about cricket. He has been a strong advocate, and it was the first time. And I said to myself, something is wrong. So with the infusion of people like Dwayne Gill and Glennis Roberts, we have seen what has taken place in cricket, and we're hoping that that can be reflected in other sporting federations. And this is no way, basically, an attempt to discredit the effort and good works that have gone by with past administrators and current administrators. They have done their work. Mr. Joseph, for example, in the Football Association has been doing quite a bit. We have seen the results at some of the playing fields around the island and the youth programs. But I find myself uniquely placed, having led the initiative, and when I look back at this, the new thinking and mindset and bold approach that evolved in collaboration with my partners, I want to encourage the other disciplines to pursue new approaches in their governance. That is what is important. I'm confident, based on past experiences, to get the corporate sponsors if we don't take a critical look at how we administer sports in Grenada. And while I would like to thank the confirmed and potential sponsors of the Grenada Invitational, I also want to make a plea on their behalf that their hard-earned corporate dollars, as much as they are interested in giving back to national development, they are intent on seeing some tangible results from their sponsorship. The sponsors are not only the direct beneficiaries of this initiative. In fact, I believe the government, through its support after considering the economic and social spin-offs from the Grenada Invitational, the hotels, the taxis, the direct and indirect promotions of the island are some of the benefits that could be derived from such an event once executed properly. I will not end this presentation if I do not make this appeal. I would love to see a sports symposium of all sports administrators in Grenada. A forum where everyone could be brought together to look at sports administration and possibly devise a template to meet the challenges of global sports administration. I have to make it clear, it was not sports administrators who made this Grenada Invitational possible and where it is today. It was a bold and direct mindset with collaboration of our colleagues and the exchanging of the ideas along with cohesiveness of direction got us in this position. So I'm appealing to sports administrators to start developing a new mindset. Finally, because I reside in the diaspora and because I understand the power of the diaspora and sports being a unifying factor among our people, especially in the diaspora, I could give a blanket guarantee that initiatives like these, the Grenada Invitational, will be supported by people in the diaspora. What is happening here today is a result of conversations which started in the diaspora. Most of the foundations which support sports in Grenada involve Grenadians in the diaspora. The Jason Roberts Foundation is an example. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for the opportunity to look forward to the announcements, Mr. Brown, the sponsors' endorsement, and an exciting evening of track and field come Saturday, April 8th, 2017. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bascom. What Michael did not mention is that when he sent the email to the Prime Minister, the response came within 13 minutes. And when he called me to tell me the Prime Minister responded within 13 minutes, I kind of reminded him that if he responded in 13 minutes, he's very, very, very serious, Bascom. He's normally a very serious man, but in 13 minutes, we cannot joke around with this. And so far, we've had the support of the government, and of course Chris and Michael and so on to get us to this point. The success of the Grenada Invitational will be based on partnerships. One such partnership is the Grenada Athletic Association, and to do a short presentation on the behalf of the PRO of the Athletic Association, Mr. Kwame Hippolyte.
Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Kit Mitchell, Honorable Roland Bowler, Senator Winston Garvey, Ambassador Kirani James and other Olympians, Chris Brown, Athlete Liaison, members of the LOC, special invitees, good morning. Now in 2005, I remembered postulating at the launch of the 2016 Character Championship that the championship will spark that will ignite the resurgence of a new wave of athletes and will ignite the flame that will propel the future of athletics in Grenada. The conceptualization of the Grenada Invitational is testament of that trend of thought. Now, the Grenada Athletic Association, we need to clear a misconception that we have realized in the past few days that Grenada, that the GAS, that is organizing the Invitational. And we think that we need to make this clear because the Grenada Invitational is a private sector initiative for which we have been asked by the government of Grenada to support. And in order to stage a meet of this nature, an area permit meet, the athletic governing body of the state would have to sanction such event. And so the GA is represented on the local organizing committee by our president, who unfortunately is unable to be present. Now the GA sits on the local organizing committee primarily to lend its expertise in track and field matters and guide the organizers on the rules and regulations and expectations of the IAAF regarding technical rules, anti-doping, and area permit regulations. I think it's also important to state that initiatives of this nature should be welcomed in all aspects of sport, where organizations and persons can organize meets of this nature and get the support of the local governing body. We have unequivocally supported the Grenada Invitational because we see the meet can have a significant impact on our athletes. With the inclusion of the local athletes, and we think that this will impact the development of athletes throughout the length and breadth of Grenada. But more so, it will undoubtedly be a motivating factor for the young and budding athletes to actually see world-famous stars that they read or hear about competing in front of their very eyes. In like manner, we believe that the Grenada Invitational will also have a significant impact on the development of the sport in the region, as the athletes of the NACAC region have consistently dominated the World Championship and the Olympics. However, they have been given few opportunities to perform within the region for their most loyal supporters. Our mission as a government is to continue the development of athletics in the state of Grenada, and we will continue to support any genuine activity and efforts which will lend itself to the furtherance of that goal. The GAA is prepared to make the Grenada Invitational Area Permit Meet possible, or should we say reasonably possible, to ensure that, do everything that is reasonably possible to ensure the success of the meet. Let us go forth and continue to enhance the athletic landscape of Grenada. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hippolyte. The Grenada Invitational will herald a new era of events and event organization. It means that over the next 100 days, the PR campaign will be intense. And to begin that sensitization process, I invite to speak to our CP Jesmond Prince to let us know what are some of the expectations as it relates to security and traffic come April 8, 2017.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Kit Mitchell, Honorable Roland Bola, Senator Winston Garwe, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Considering that security creates the enabling environment for development in any country, the Royal Grenada Police Force is happy to work along with private security companies, stadium security, and other voluntary groups to provide the environment for the hosting of Grenada Invitational 2017. Our plan, the security plan, is to be implemented from the arrival of the athletes to our country to the time of the departure, with a heavy emphasis on the event here at the National Stadium. The intention is also to provide the environment for persons who are interested and who are looking forward to come and be part of this experience, to do so in a safe and secure environment. And with that being said, the Royal Grenada Police Force, along with the other stakeholders, will implement a very robust security plan that would involve parking, screening, searching, and the designation of checkpoints along and for persons coming into the stadium. What you are going to experience if you are one of the persons coming to this event is that at the point of entry, if you are coming in from any direction, you will be given some indication by persons who are going to be posted around special areas on the perimeter of the stadium. You'll be given directions as to where you would park based on the ticket that you have. Now, we understand that this is going to be a ticketed event and that persons will be assigned seats. So when you enter into the perimeter of the stadium, you will be required to present that information so that you'll be directed where you should be parked or where you should be entering the stadium from. Now, having said that, the parking arrangement is very limited, as you would recognize that the stadium with a capacity of over 7,000, we anticipate that if this is a sold-out event, we would have quite a number of persons coming in with their vehicles. And so the parking arrangement at the athletics and football stadium will be limited to VIPs and specially invited guests, while the parking area at Gate 6 of the cricket stadium will be available for the general public. We also anticipate that as we develop the plan, because this is just a preliminary, some preliminary information, but as we develop further, we may also be looking at some kind of a system of park and ride where people would be allowed to park in another area and to shuttle to the stadium. And again, that will be dependent on how the ticket sale goes and the number of persons that will be turning up. But what we want people to pay particular attention to is the fact that this is going to be an international event. We are going to be seen by the entire world. And so we are asking patrons to conduct themselves in a way that they will promote Grenada as a venue for other events like this. We stress the point that this is and that will be ticketed, and every person who purchased a ticket will be assigned a seat. And we are asking persons to please use their seats as much as possible. We've had in the past where we have to ask people to have their seat, go to your seat because of the congregation that they were having in the passages through the stadium. So again, these are some things that we want persons to be mindful of. We also want to indicate here in this preliminary information sharing that based on how the stadium is constructed, the emergency exits are limited for the covered area. In other words, you are going to be required to use the same entrance for emergency exits in the event that there is an event that you have to move out quickly from the stadium. For the bleachers, the emergency exit will be towards the center of the field for those persons who are on the uncovered stands. We also want accreditation, because you cannot enter the stadium, or you would not be allowed to enter the stadium without a ticket or without being accredited. And those persons who are going to be accredited are persons who are going to be working at the stadium to host this event. And those persons, you will be required to wear your accreditation badge. If you are coming into the stadium and you do not have a badge, you will not be allowed, or a ticket, you would not be allowed into the stadium. We also want to emphasize the importance of the concessionaires to move in your supplies early, at least 4 hours before the start of the game, so that you will not create a problem for the security when we shut down before the start of the game. Security will be in place 2 hours before the start of the games. Every activity within the concessionary grouping will be ceased by then. Later on, however, during the intermission time, we may allow a window of opportunity for the concessionaires to move their stuff back and forth to replenish their supplies. But those are some of the preliminaries that we are going to be considering for the security of the event. And we are asking persons to cooperate with us as much as possible, because we are going to be very firm and decisive in dealing with any breach of these rules and regulations. So again, the Royal Grenada Police Force stands ready to provide the service that is needed for the successful hosting of Grenada Invitational 2017. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ACP Prince. When about 3 months ago when Bascom called me to tell me that he has access to Chris Brown. He came to provide some information about how we conduct our invitational. I got very excited. I think that weekend Chris went to the Bahamas and text back from the Bahamas that he will not be doing his invitational. He's available to Grenada, and his date is available to Grenada. Thought things are getting very, very serious. He has been a great friend to Grenada over the last couple of months. He's very passionate, not just as an athlete, but as an event organizer. Had us out in the sun for 3 hours in October doing a site visit, checking each and every single detail of the National Stadium. And he's here to make some announcements that should get all of us excited. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Brown.
Good morning, Right Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell, Prime Minister, the sports, special guests, media. I want to thank you all for having me in this beautiful country. It's very beautiful, and I enjoy my stay here every time I come to Grenada with a warm, warm welcome. Second to home, which will be home soon. I'm here today to let you guys know that the international arena has been buzzing with excitement. Everyone is looking forward to coming to Grenada, and they're looking forward to this event as much as I am. I know that the athletes are also looking forward to this event. We are now 100 days away from hosting the inaugural Grenada Invitational, and that's very positive for Grenada. I want to say to you all today that you have the likes of Karani James, Kurt, Kanika Beckles, and also Mr. Felix. With those athletes, you will be joined by a large contingent of international athletes along with other Grenada athletes. My job is to help to bring the athletes here to Grenada, and that has not been a challenge, but has also been a challenge. It has been a challenge because when I made contact with the agents, coaches, and athletes, the response was, when is the date, how far is Grenada, and how is the stadium? And once I was able to lay out the platform, I've got a over excitement and response positive. The stadium can only hold so much, but I have gotten more than 200 elite athletes to want to confirm and participate, but we cannot 200 of them. So we're going to have to cut off some elite athletes, but today I'm here to announce that we have the participation of and confirmation of a group, elite group, that will be here, and I guarantee that they will be here. And I know you guys are ready to know who is coming, and when they will be here, you have the likes of the Queen of Jamaica, which is Veronica Campbell Brown. You also have the participant, Mr. Justin Gatlin. You also have from St. Kitts, Mr. Kim Collins. Yes, the evergreen Kim Collins will be here. You also have your own Karani James. Again, like I say, the list one. Mr. Collins is there. He'll be here. He's excited, very excited about coming. You ready? LaShawn Merritt from United States will also be here. Mind, he will not be running the 400 meters, but he will be in the 200 meters. You also have Mr. David Oliver from the US will be here. Miss Ashley Spencer, bronze medalist. Again, Veronica Cameron Brown, Mr. Michonne Machine Merritt, Justin Gatlin, Kanika Beckles, Mr. Kurt Phillip. Can you guys stand so we can see? Go ahead and stand. Mr. Rondell Bartholomew will be here. Also, Mr. Braylon Taplin, Grenada Zone. And again, King James will be here. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just a few of the many names that I have to unleash. I'm still also in negotiating phases with a few of them. But again, like I said, athletes are excited. They are talking about it. They're calling me every day. And I'm having to sometimes just leave my phone alone because the response has been overwhelmed. Everyone now wants to compete in Grenada. So the Spice Island will be very live and full in effect come April the 8th. So I'm looking forward to further on giving Mr. Bascom the remaining group of elite athletes that will be here. But again, thank you all for having me, and I look forward to 2017.
Thank you very much, Chris. That is a very impressive list so far. And it takes me to a next point, which I think is a safe point to do now. There has been a lot of questions about when tickets for the Grenada Invitational will be available and at what cost. So we will announce the cost of the tickets for the Grenada Invitational. Begin with the bleachers. The bleachers and the population of the bleachers is 2,834 persons. Tickets to the bleachers will be 40 EC dollars. And we try to make the games as family-friendly as possible. It's accessible to all families, young athletes, young students, and so on. We are looking at the main pavilion, and that took some consideration. Of course, vantage points, finish lines, and so on. We have divided the main pavilion into 3 categories. The main pavilion, which is just around where we are, those tickets will be $75, and the population there is 950 persons. There is a VIP section, which is upstairs overlooking the finish line. The population there is 288, and those tickets will be $450. Food and drink all inclusive all day from 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. when the games are over. That, I think, my friends, is a bargain. The finish line, the designation for finish line A, which is immediately above the finish line, the best vantage point at the National Stadium. The population at finish line A, that group of seats, 189 persons, and those tickets will be $200. Finish line B, which is a little bit off and a little less advantageous than finish line A. Population there is 196 persons, and those tickets are $150. And finish line C would be 203 persons, and those tickets are $100. The secondary stand or the eastern stand, those tickets for that entire stand will be $60, and the population there would be 2,238 persons. Tickets will go on sale on Monday, January 30th. We are encouraging persons. Michael spoke about the interest in the diaspora. Chris has mentioned the regional and international interests. We are encouraging persons, please purchase tickets as early as possible. It is our hope, and I'm in charge of marketing, so it is my hope that there will be no tickets to sell on the 8th of April. We do not want to have to deal with cash on the 8th of April. So please go out and buy your tickets. Like I said, the ticket costing took a lot of deliberation, a lot of consultation, looking at the state of the economy, affordability, make accessible to each and every single Grenadian. So please do take advantage, and we do have an impressive lineup so far, and I suspect it might get even more impressive. One of the major discussion points about the Invitational is the legacy effect and the benefits to local athletes and to local athletic association and the local athletic movement. What can be done? We do not want to wait, every 10 or 12 years to have an Olympian or have a chance at medal. We are talented enough to be consistent. And to ensure that consistency, we need somebody strong at the helm. We are confident, and he has proven himself over the last couple of months, that the current Minister of Sports is well placed to ensure that the development of sports and the effort of the Grenada Invitational will bear fruit in years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Roland Bowler.
Thank you very much. And I want to refer to you this morning as Dexter. I normally call you differently, but in the presence of the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, I just refer to you as Dexter. Of course, I want to recognize Senator Garraway, who is here with us this morning, Mr. Chris Brown. We're happy to have you with us again in Grenada. And he was just mentioning to me earlier on that a couple of people in the Bahamas were saying to him that Grenada will take him away. And I said to him, we normally don't take people, we allow them to freely come in. And I heard him mention soon to be home. So we are working on that. ASP Prince, of course, Mr. Bascom, we have in our midst some administrators of our different sporting organizations, our sporting ambassadors and Olympians. We are happy to have all of you here. Sponsors and potential sponsors for the Grenada Invitational, our press secretary. I have here. I see one of our cultures among us as well. But at Talpuri, we're happy to have you in the midst. So, gives an indication that we're not only doing sports, right? So we're going to have a good mix next time. I know you are also into the entertainment business. Good to have you. Members of the media, everyone, a very pleasant good morning to you. I think we're still in morning. With much being said already, and of course, our Prime Minister, who is going to round off this morning's event, there's not much I want to say. But to tell you that I was very elated when Prime Minister spoke to me about his initial conversation with Mr. Bascom and others, and asked me to immediately get on board and start the process rolling. Immediately, Dexter contacted me. I don't remember how it went, whether you contacted, I contacted, but we did have some dialogue. And the process started, and I have been updated regularly. From then to now, I'm very impressed with the work that the local organizing committee would have done. I'm also very impressed with the fact, while I am not physically present on the committee, but whenever we have discussions and I make suggestions to Mr. Mitchell, he oftentimes look at it and come back and say, Minister, I think that's a good addition to what we are doing. The Ministry of Sports do have its representation, and we are very committed from a governmental standpoint to do all that we are supposed to be doing to ensure that not just the Grenada Invitational become a success, but that the legacy that follows. Because one of the things that I did mention very early, and I asked Dexter to raise it with the committee, is that we do not have an event of such a nature, bringing in international athletes, elite athletes, having the whole stadium, maybe for the very first time, filled to capacity, and then it just dies. We doesn't hear anything else. And I indicated that maybe one of the things that we can do as a result of the success is to sponsor one of our local talented athletes to probably go out of Grenada College. I mean, not waiting for a college to invite them, but to say, look, this is our intention. We are going to grow this thing, from the ground up, and we're going to prepare, as we say, the talent is available in Grenada. What we need to continue to do is to nurture it. And I'm very excited that the local business community is partnering. I have heard that many people are inquiring, what are your packages? Where do we fit? How are you going to tailor-make the package so that my small business can still get a say, can buy a package and can be mentioned? So it means that the interest is there. This is something that has been developed by private sector individuals who are Grenadians, and that the government has taken it on wholesale, and we are partnering with them. And I make the point all the time that it is initiatives like those that makes you as a government feel that you can continue to invest the hard-earned taxpayers' money in facilities like this because you know it can bring good results and rewards. We have to understand that government cannot do it all by themselves. We have a prime minister that is visionary, and he sees things long before a lot of us sees it. So even when he's being criticized for doing things that people have not yet seen the vision, we can see it coming full circle around now. Because this facility is not just for us to have our intercall. It is not just for a few people to come and view and say, fantastic facility built by the Chinese. But what better way can we show appreciation for what we have to those who have given us the opportunity to own it than by utilizing it in the manner in which we're going to be doing in April 2017. We're going to show the world that Grenada can host an international event of quality, a standard event, an event that will be talked about for many years to come and will be repeated many years following. That's the intention here. And so I want to take the opportunity again to commend Michael and his team for coming forward, and to commend Dexter and the local organizing committee, the Athletic Association, and everyone else, because I recall after the invitation was talked about and Prime Minister decided he wanted to have a meeting with the Athletic Association and the other persons involved. Immediately after that meeting, we went down to my ministry, we met again, and within a week and a half, Dexter told me, the application went out and it was acknowledged. So we got the area permit meet. So it meant that everybody went into high gear and things has been working. So as of now, 100 days down the road, we are counting. We're going to hear more announcements. Chris knows that to get his permanent stay in Grenada, you have to bring some athletes of international prominence, and he's working on that. He will deliver. I mean, he's coming after the NNP slogan, I will deliver, so Chris will deliver. So my friends, we're going to deliver a world-class event to you. The ministry stands ready to participate. All of the persons within the ministry, PS, and everyone downwards, they are ready. They're very excited. The Grenadian public is excited. So I just ask us all to be prepared, as we are accustomed to doing, to welcome into our homes and into our country some world-class athletes for a world-class event that will be, Grenada will soon be the athletic capital of the world. Thank you all very much, and let's continue to work for success.
Thank you very much, Minister Bola. The formula we used, and Bascom and I have been speaking a lot about the Grenada Invitational, and the formula we have used is world-class facility, of course, world-class athletes should be equal world-class event, and I think we are well on our way. However, to me, there are key factors in delivering an international event of that nature here to Grenada. One, of course, Chris Brown and what he brings to the table, Bascom and his access to international media, international athletes, and of course the support of a Prime Minister. Chris was telling me this morning that he had a discussion with another athlete from another country who is attempting to do what we are doing, and his advice is, meet with the Prime Minister and the Minister of Sports. If you get yes, go ahead. If you get no, no bother. And that's based on my experience in Grenada. Ladies and gentlemen, the Right Honorable Dr. Kit Mitchell.
Thank you, Brother Chairman. And Dexter? It's okay to call you Dexter? Okay. I never called him Dexter before. So. My colleague, Minister of Sports, Brother Bola, Superintendent Prince, who I believe articulated so well as the security aspect. As you know, in the present world we're living in today, we can't take anything for granted as far as security is concerned. And of course, Brother Chris, I'm calling you brother already, so it tells you something. Brother Bascom, my colleagues, Minister and Senator, our Ambassador Kireni, and all the distinguished Grenadian athletes, the Felix brothers, the Beckles. I just want you to know the Felix is brothers, the father is from Happy Hill, my own I just want you to know this. It's not Kereni, not only Gov that can make them. Other, of course, representatives of sporting organization, and I think it must not be missed what Brother Bascom, the point he made about the organizations that we have here in the different sporting areas and the necessity to think more revolutionary than what we've been seeing over the years. I think that point he made must not be lost. Clearly our sport, our culture icon, our brother, I was so glad when I saw here my brother Talpri, because it sends the message. This is a collective piece of work that we and members of the business community, the media houses, because you are so important in what we are trying to do. But before I say anything else, Michael did mention to you about how this all started and how he constructed the way forward. He told you that he mentioned to a local, of his local friend here, about the necessity to get this thing going. What he didn't tell you who the local friend was. And I didn't ask him permission, but I will tell you. His local friend was the former Minister of Sports, Honorable Patrick Simmons. And Patrick tell him, boy, if it's sports, go and talk to Keith. But there's a point I need to make on this. When we have something that is valuable for our country, the politics must take second place. And I think this is something. So Michael, in front of the entire audience here and the listening audience, I want to thank you for understanding the necessity to rise above partisan politics and put our beautiful country first. Because that is what all of us will be remembered for, not the partisan battles. What did we do when we had the opportunity to promote the development of the country so that our children and grandchildren will remember us of having done something positive? Ada Carrico and P.D. Martinic. So I go now refer to my prepared text. I am, of course, delighted to lend my voice here today as we launch this very important activity. A day when the eyes of the international athletic world would look toward unfavor on our beautiful island with its first-class athletic facility, a model here in the sub-region. When we turned the sword for the reconstruction of this stadium over 3 years ago, I said then that these stadia would in time become national monuments of achievement and excellence, showcasing the best of the world's athletes. And I want to make this point. When the cricket stadium was constructed, because that was the first part of the entire operation, there was the feeling that because of my love for cricket and the role that I played over the years in cricket, that it was about cricket. And I made the point. It was about the development of our young people. And it's about sports, because it's so essential in the nurturing of the human mind and body. And I thought that having the support for the athletic stadium is crucial to that end of the bargain. Making sure football is also a major part. We're now looking at the swimming facility that is under, very soon you will see the unveiling of the construction of a first-class swimming facility. And all aspects of sports, colleagues, we need to use the talents of our young people, whether it's football, cricket, athletics, netball, no matter what they are, extract those talents and make it in the interests of all our country. I am sure also that all Grenadians everywhere, and Michael alluded to this in the diaspora, and friends of Grenada are beaming with pride to know that we will be hosting the likes of Justin Gatlin, the second fastest man in the world, the formidable Lucian Asafa Powell, Kim Collins, the veteran who is regarded as one of the fastest in the world, and the queen of the track, Veronica Campbell-Brown. These athletic greats are already models to legions of present and future young Grenadians and Caribbean nationals. And they will be here on our stage competing with our youngsters. We know that our vision to construct these stadia back in 1996 was not understood by everyone. And we did face criticism for investing so much, and it was really a lot of investment. And I could understand those who felt that the monies could be used better in other places. I could understand there was serious discussion on this, and that is healthy for the society, but I genuinely felt that was the right thing to do, and I believe it is certainly paying off today. We owe continued investment to sports, to our local athletes, and especially to the ones who have put Grenada on the map. Some of whom are here today: Kirani, our Premier Athletic Ambassador, and the other Olympians past and present who have in fact promoted this country. Colleagues, I could never forget 2012 in the London Stadium. I was in opposition at the time. There were very few Grenadians who had the resources to be able to be there. And I was sitting with the Jamaican contingent, and because Usain Bolt was supposed to be running just around that time in the semifinals. So I had the whole Jamaican contingent. So I made sure they got their Grenadian flag. And of course, we celebrated together the victory of Kirani James. I never felt so proud as a Grenadian in my life. Question therefore is, what message we would send to them who have invested in upgrading our local facilities in recognition of the sacrifices, the hard work and examples of youth of this nation. All of you deserve a lot. And it's so nice to see Rondon Bartholomew, because we were wondering what has happened to him. It's so good to see you here back with us. Sisters and brothers, just reflect on the fact that our little island was able to have 2 finalists in the Olympic 400 meters in Rio. 2 finalists. Colleagues, you notice that Her Majesty the Queen, Commonwealth message going to the entire world, talked about Grenada as one of the countries that have had more medal per population for 100 persons than any other country in the world. That is something for us to celebrate. Now just imagine how much more they could accomplish when the right facilities and exposure come. Just think of how many others like them are out there. We have a lot of Kirani James out there, right at home, waiting and hoping for proper tools to propel them to the next level. We cannot continue to sit idly by while they are compelled to leave our shores to get the necessary tools for competition. We owe them much to strive to provide better tools and opportunities at home. For when they succeed, it is the Grenadian flag that is raised. It is the Grenadian pride that is exhibited. It is our collective voices that are raised with cheers. That is why, sisters and brothers, I want to thank Michael Bascom and his team for partnering with the government in this important venture. There's no other better way to do it than private sector and public sector working together. They must be lauded for their vision towards this novel and historic endeavor, one that is rooted in the love for sports and the love for country. Government, for its willingness, understands clearly that we are cannot whatever we can do for our people. This is why we need partnerships. We need committed men and women who can look beyond partisan politics when the development of the nation is at stake. There would always be opportunity for political posturing, but until such time, we must join hands and work together in order to achieve any sort of successes for our country. This is the hallmark, sisters and brothers, of patriotism, and it's a legacy we want to live, as I said before, for our children and grandchildren. We believe that every Kirani James, there are dozens more that can be harvested here to compete with the best out there. We believe that for every investment we make in our future, the nation will reap dividends. This invitational is not only about showcasing the talents of the athletes, it's also about economic possibilities that will result in the spin-off of opportunities for all our people, from the taxi driver to the hotel owner, and worker to the businessman and woman of all over our nation. In 2014 and earlier this year, we saw glimpses of how the sporting landscape can be reflected in economic gains with the hosting of the first England vs. West Indies Test match, the Carifta Games here, the region's premier athletic meet, the CONCACAF Women's Under-17 football tournament, and other regional games. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of our country is at stake. I challenge, therefore, all administrators of the different local sporting federations to work closely with stakeholders, private and public, as well as the Grenada Athletic Association and the Ministry of Sports, on doing this important invitational. This is the kind of collaboration and vision we need to consolidate Grenada's sports and the Grenadian athletes on the world stage. Let this invitational activity be the inspiration for the future. We have seen tremendous successes so far in swimming, cricket, track and field, and others. There is no limit to the youngsters that can shine through, especially when they're exposed to greatness as they would be here in April. I therefore commend the Grenada Athletic Association for buying into the vision for this important meet. In other words, they did not wince a bit when we approached them. So I want to commend them. I again commend the local organizers and the Ministry of Sports for taking this vision forward. I must also thank our good friend, soon to be Grenadian, for his experience and astute leadership for the process that we now have on stage. And I want to tell him I've already told your Prime Minister about what you're doing, and he has in fact endorsed it, and he said if he has the time, if the election is not called at the time, he's going to find himself here. I do also want to make a point, and just about 2 hours ago I spoke to the Minister of Sports of Jamaica, Sister Babsy Grange, who assured me of the support of the Prime Minister and herself in trying to lure Usain Bolt to be here with us on the 8th of April. I told them whether he runs or not, it's no big deal for us. His presence is what we want. So look out for even bigger announcements, sisters and brothers. Chris, I am so happy and proud. I felt like a little boy here this morning, honestly. And not usually I'm a little nervous, because this to me is so important for this country. I don't think we'll be seeing a bigger event in our country than this. The promotion of this little land on April 8th, no amount of investment in the tourism ministry could pay for the exposure that we get from this important event. So to all of you and to the business community, you cannot go wrong investing in this exercise. The government putting out some money in this. We cannot go wrong, and we expect to see everyone pull their weight together for the success of this beautiful exercise and the success of Grenada, Carriacou, and BD Martinique. Thank you all. I think I'm supposed to take this opportunity to formally launch this major event, April 8th, 2017. Thank you. I will say to you, the election date would also be called, but I cannot say that to you at the same time.
Yeah, I think Chris wants to make a presentation to the PM. Chris, this is Chris' second visit in relation to the invitational. You're getting closer and closer to that parcel of land and passport that I promised you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have acknowledged the track and field stars who are with us, but it would be remiss of me if we did not acknowledge another Olympian in our midst, Miss Oria Lua Cherubin. Ms. Cherubin. And Rondell, please take a bow. I think you walked in late. A short while ago, the Prime Minister referenced the business community and the importance of getting on board in making the invitational a success. I am excited to announce that the business community is responding and responding very, very well. We are in some serious discussions, talking some serious money. and after today, I expect that those discussions will intensify. However, to date, we have some sponsored. The IWF is one of our sponsors. NACAC, the regional affiliate of the IWF. Of course, the Grenada Athletic Association. We have with us Glenledge Natural Spring Water, the official water of the Grenada Invitational. Powerade, the official NOD drink of the Grenada Invitational. Spicile Auto Rental, and they are going to come in for a special commendation. It's a business based in the rural community, based in Grenville, and also the principal owner is based in the diaspora. So I must congratulate Spicile International Auto Rental. Fit for Life Gym, the official gym of the Grenada Invitational. The Grenada Breweries Limited is on board with us. We got a confirmation at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We have, to date, we have 2 media partners. Boss FM, which has been doing an excellent job. Our PR campaign has started, information is going out, and Real FM, another rural-based business. And of course, our participating partners, the government of Grenada and the Grenada Tourism Authority. And I would like to specially recognize Ms. Francine Stewart, a member of the LOC who has worked diligently with us. This morning's activity is being broadcast live through GIS to all local television stations. So I'd like to recognize the audience who has been with us all morning and who shared in the excitement. I think Senator Scott can confirm probably 5 radio stations also carried the live feed. We have now come to the end of this morning's proceedings. 100 days, 99 days of hard work to go. Well, at the LOC, we are very excited. We feel the responsibility that this enormous activity that we are expected to deliver. And based on, you've heard the details from ACP Prince, the commitment of Chris to Grenada and so on, that we will be able to deliver to Grenada an exceptional activity till 8/2017. On the outside, there are refreshments, and for the media who are going to engage any persons in any interviews, we encourage you to do it on the outside against the Grenada Invitational logo backdrop. That's why we bought it. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.